Hey, I might have gone a little overboard with this one. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I'm bringing you guys another sneaker unboxing video. Those of you who've been watching these seem to really be enjoying them, so I'm going to keep putting them out as long as I got new pickups coming in, which probably going to slow down a little bit here, but you know, I feel like I say that to myself all the time, and the packages just keep showing up. It just simply is what it is. But in today's video, you already know what we're taking a look at. You already know what we got for the unboxing, but I just want to start things off by saying that for me personally, this is a top 3, maybe top 2 sneaker of the year. And the only reason why I say 2 and not number 1 is because this year we got, you know, the 85 breads, which I still don't have a pair of, but at some point I will find a way to get my hands on a pair of those. But that's probably sneaker of the year for me, even though I didn't manage to get that release, because those of you who know me, you know that my favorite sneaker of all time is the Jordan 1, specifically in the bread colorway. And I still got my 2013 pair sitting there, still alive and kicking, still looking crispy, but I would love to get my hands on those. That being said, the sneaker that we have today, probably my second favorite release, probably the second biggest release for me personally. And I know they're not really hitting for nothing super crazy on the resale market. That doesn't matter to me. This is an all-time great, all-time classic, a must-have in the collection. So let's go ahead and get to it. Yes, sir. So, you know what? Actually, real quick, I got a bone to pick with Foot Locker, okay? Because this pair, I actually did manage to hit on the Foot Locker website. And, you know, me being as excited as I was and in great anticipation for this release, like I said, this for me is probably my second favorite release of the year. This is the second most important sneaker to drop in 2025 for me. Now I know it's still very early in 2025, and there might be some stuff coming later on that we don't even know about. Like I know the Tokyo 5s got announced and the Grape 5s are still coming, and there's been some other good releases as well, like the reimagined metallic 5s, which I did manage to get a couple of pairs of. But for me, I don't really think anything is topping this other than the bread 85s or the 85 breads. But as excited as I was for this release, you know, I hit and I went the extra mile, okay? I paid for 1-day shipping from Foot Locker. These shoes dropped on the 24th. It's the 28th. This package just showed up about 10 minutes ago. Okay. They dropped on a Saturday. The next day was Sunday, and then it was Memorial Day. They should have been here bare minimum Tuesday. It is Wednesday. I'm upset. Matter of fact, I'm about to call them, because this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even, it's partially my fault. I ain't gonna hold you. Had I been thinking, I'd have realized, oh, it's the weekend, so they probably not even going, and then tomorrow is Sunday, and then I didn't even realize that Monday was Memorial Day until Monday came around, because I'll just be so all over the place. I don't even be keeping track of what day of the week it is and what holidays is going on. I just be so out the loop when it comes to time. But yeah, so you know, maybe I shouldn't even done it, but I did. And why even offer it as an option if you wasn't even actually gonna be able to get it to me in one day? Now I know they'd be like, oh, it's one business day. Man, y'all, it's a scam. It's a scam. But anyway, getting to the shoes. Like I said, you already know what's inside here. You see it. Yes, sir. That black box with the red Jumpman, the Flight logo. Oh, wait. This has been a long time coming. This has been a long time coming. And I feel like there's a part of me that has like a sixth sense for this. I'm gonna explain to you what I mean here in just a second, but I can already, that new shoe smell is already wafting out of the little hole here at the box, boy. But you see it, man. Air Jordan 4 Retro, Summit White, Fire Red. I actually hit these in a size 11.5, which if you know me, you know I've been buying my shoes in a size 11. Now I was not lucky enough to I actually see there's like a score here from the was that just now for me from the blade? And it's whatever, it's just the box. I ain't tripping too much. I've been buying my shoes in a size 11. Now an 11.5 I can rock, shouldn't be too much of an issue, to be honest. I normally wear my shoes a little snug. This will just probably be the shoe size that most people would actually wear if they had, you know, my size. So it's whatever, although I do have, well, we'll get to that. But let me just go ahead and slide the top off that thing. Ooh, boy, gently. Set that to the side. Peel back that paper. Oh, I've been waiting for this one, man. I've been waiting for this one, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 retro of the white cement Jordan 4 in all of its beautiful, beautiful glory. Orange hang tag there, you know what I'm saying? Gotta let that thing show for the one time. Yeah, this is an all-timer. This is a classic. This is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. And this is an incredible, incredible retro. Oh my. Ooh, boy. Y'all don't get it, man.
Oh, shit! Damn! Whoa! Been a long time.
Y'all don't get it. Well, maybe some of you do, but some of y'all just not going to understand. So, a little bit of a backstory, right? I used to own the 2016 retro as well as the 2012 retro. The first pair of white cement 4s I ever owned was actually the 2012 retro. Actually, matter of fact, we had a couple of stores we could sell. So let's just go ahead and get into it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just hold these while I talk with y'all for a little bit. In 2012, this sneaker retroed for the first time since what? 1999? Yeah, I want to say 99 was like the last retro before 2012. And I always thought that this was one of the best colorways, like a super classic, iconic Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, because like it ain't like I grew up watching Jordan, like playing all these. I'm not quite that old, you feel me? But something about like the shoes that he did wear, I just something about those colorways just appealed to me the most. So the white cements and the breads are my two favorite Jordan 4 colorways, and I always wanted a pair, right? They came out. I was not able to get a pair at release. Funnily enough, that's around the time the LeBron 9 was coming out, and I remember I went to the mall the day before these were supposed to come out, because I was supposed to go camp out the next day for them. Something happened, something came up, I don't quite remember what it was, and I just remember I was out with the family or whatever, and we went to the mall, and I ended up getting a pair of cool gray LeBron 9s. That was like my consolation prize. I was like, if I'm not gonna be able to get the cement 4s tomorrow for whatever reason, I guess I'm gonna just get me a pair of LeBron 9s. I hadn't had a pair yet, I've been wanting them. You know what I'm saying? So I got the cool gray colorway. The next morning, I'm sleep, you know what I'm saying? I'm sleeping in because I'm not getting up, or I didn't stay up, you know, to camp out for the release. My pops wakes me up and is like, yo, do you want to go get the white cement 4s? And in my sleep drunken stupor, right? I'm half asleep. I have zero recollection of this interaction whatsoever. This was told back to me later when I was actually coherent, right? He tells me that he came in my room and was like, yo, your mom's and your sister about to go down to the mall to see if they can go get a pair of them 4s. Do you want a pair? First of all, why would you even have to ask? I had been talking about the shoe nonstop. You know how badly I wanted them. I only got a pair of LeBron 9s as a consolation prize. You know what I'm saying? I was all hyped up, gung-ho, thinking I was going to be camping out, spending my money on a pair of cement 4s the next day. And for some stupid reason, I guess I said, no, I'm cool. I'm going to just keep the LeBrons. And I went back to sleep. So imagine, right? When I wake up a couple hours later, they come back. My mother and my sister got the cement 4s, the 2012 version. I'm like, the hell going on here? And then they tell back to me the story. It's like, oh yeah, we tried to wake you up, but you said you ain't want them. Are you dead ass? So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was salty for the rest of the day, but it all worked out because eventually, because you know I'm in the, you know, the game. I'm buying shoes, flipping them, selling, trading, whatever. I had a pair of Peapod 8s that I got off of a local homie off a deal for like $40, and I ended up trading those Peapod 8s for a basically brand new pair of white cement 4s, and I wore them to death. They were still clean when I got rid of them, but I only got rid of them because I outgrew them. Eventually, the 2016 retro comes out. I didn't get those at release either. I had to get those later down the line. And I had those up until a year or two ago, and I let them go because they were just getting super, super yellow. Like, even though the uppers were still very, very clean and there wasn't really much crease or anything like that, it still had all the stars on the bottom and everything. I let them go just because I wanted my pair to be crispy, and they weren't really crispy. So that being said, I'm actually super, super glad personally, even though I like the aged look and the reimagined look, and like a lot of these shoes they've been doing. Like I said, I got the reimagined Chicago ones. I got 3 pairs of them. Actually, no, I sold a pair. I got 2 pairs of them. I got the reimagined metallic 5s. I wouldn't be mad. I get my hands on a pair of the reimagined 3s, even though I still got the 2013 88 3s back there and everything like that. But when it comes to the white cement specifically, I'm so glad that they just went with that crispy summit white and didn't do a reimagined pre-aged look or anything like that, because I mean it's so bright white. I need to turn the lights down, you know what I'm saying? You can't even get the full you dig just because of how bright white that they are. But it's just something about this shoe where like I need my pair to be crispy, and well, they went crispy on them, you feel me? So yeah, I sold my pair, and I was like, well, you know, it's been some years, so I'm pretty confident that in a year or two they're probably gonna be bringing the shoe back out. And they did. And I've done this multiple times in my life, it feels like, because with the Carmine 6s, right, I have still to this day, matter of fact, let me go grab them real quick. Bang! Right here we have my 2008 Countdown Pack Carmine 6s, which as you can see, I beat these to death. There's not too many beat shoes in my collection, obviously. As you might imagine, I don't wear these anymore. They're not really in wearable condition. I didn't get these in 2008, you know. They were in pretty solid condition when I picked them up, but they were already decently yellow. But I rock these like crazy. This is one of my favorite shoes and favorite colorways of all time. You know, this is a top 10, top 5, maybe even top 3 Jordan for me. The Carmine 6 is really high on my list. It's been a minute since I sat down and really thought about like what my top 10 is and in what order. But yeah, so the new retro to Carmines, those came out in 2021, somewhere around there, right? I have been rocking these and rocking these and rocking these, and the story behind these is they were finally getting like pretty beat, you know what I'm saying? Like the suede was starting to chip, obviously creasing all over the place, you know, midsole cracking, all that good stuff, right? And I was going hiking one day with some friends. We were going on to walk up this trail, up this mountain, and at the time I didn't really have too many shoes that were beaters, you know what I'm saying? Despite what you might think based on how these look, there were very, very, very few beaters in my collection, right? Like all the shoes that I had at that time were like, you know, clean, like fairly new Jordans and Nikes and Air Maxes, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really have like a lot of beaters. I had a pair of Vans that I wore as my beaters, a pair of black skate highs, because everybody got a pair of black skate highs in their collection, right? A pair of Chuck Taylors, and then I had a couple pair of J's that were like in not so great condition that I kind of, you know, was rocking at one point, but was more so using as kick around shoes. And I also had a couple pairs of running shoes, whatever, right? Like some Asics and stuff, but even the Asics I had were like, you know, the Ronnie Fag collabs, like, you know, like the Coles, my Jet Light 5s. And I was like, well, I'm not trying to go hiking in those, right? Because what if I fuck them up? And I'm glad that, because that was my plan originally. My plan was I was going to wear my Cove Ronnie Fig Asics Jet Light 5s to go hiking, because I was like, well, they're going to be super comfortable. And at the last minute, I was like, you know what, man? These will be a lot more comfortable, like significantly more comfortable than me wearing a pair of Vans or a pair of Converse. And also, they getting beat up anyway, and I got a feeling that they're going retro soon. And then, sure enough, I wore these on the hike. They got supremely fucked up. That's actually when the toe cap started to come apart, and they got like way more chipped up and everything. So they got fucked up on that hike. By the time I came back down the mountain, they was separating and shit. But literally, like a few weeks later, a month later, I think we got the announcement that they were retroing the following year. And then, of course, you know, I had to go ahead and grab a couple fresh pairs, you know what I'm saying? So this is the pair that I rock, still super crispy, and I have a whole brand new pair sell on ice as well, because like I said, one of my favorite sneakers of all time. But this video is not about the Carmine 6. It is about, of course, the white cement Jordan 4. And yeah, so similarly, and I've done this with other shoes as well, where I just kind of just have this feeling after when you've been collecting sneakers for so long, and it's been a certain amount of time since the shoe was released, especially when you start thinking about the anniversaries of certain shoes and colorways and stuff, you kind of just get that feeling that a shoe is going to be releasing soon, right? And so I sold my 2016 pair, like I said, either last year or the year before, because I was like, I just got a feeling these are about to retro soon, so I'm gonna miss them, but we gonna get them back. And well, we got him back. So I've been doing a whole lot of yapping. Let's actually talk a little bit about the details of the shoe. I mean, y'all already know what a white cement 4 looked like, but as you can see, we have the orange Nike Air hang tag, just like we had on the Soul 3s. I just recently did an unboxing of them. They've been slapping this on a lot of the 3s and 4s and such. Obviously you have that white leather upper, if we can go ahead and get the camera to focus back on that. But yeah, it does have a pretty nice coating on it, so these probably aren't going to crease up as much. They are going to be a little bit stiff and going to take some breaking in. But that's fine by me. I'm just so happy to have this shoe back in the collection. But white leather all throughout the upper. You see you got your black hits on the wings where the eyelets are. And then, of course, you have that black rubber on the outside. So I'm doing this all out of order. Can you tell I'm not used to being a sneakers YouTuber? Let's take it from the bottom and work our way up. So here on the bottom, boom. You see you got your hits of cement gray here on the stars, the red hit on the traction, as well as the black. Then you have the red Nike Air with the white rubber right here. And then at the back, on the heel, you of course have more traction in that cement gray. Then moving on up to the midsole, you can see the stars rising up throughout the toe cap, cement gray there, black rubber going throughout the midsole, white on the midsole here, and then moving up you have that iconic cement print. I think back in the day this used to be called tech gray or cement gray, or maybe that was on the 99 retro or the 2012. I can't remember for sure actually. We just gonna call it cement gray though. And I wish I still had a 2016 pair to compare it to. but it is what it is. And then on the air unit, you can see if I can get the right angle there. It looks like there you have a white air unit inside. The white leather throughout the upper. Again, here on the wing, you have that cement gray with the black speckles, black hits on the wings. And then, of course, that iconic Nike Air on the back. And what's dope about this retro compared to the 2012, well, the 2012 retro, it just had a Jumpman Air, right? And 2016 was the first time they brought the Nike Air back. But if I can just get the light to hit it at just the right angle, you could probably see that not only does the speckling for the cement print go throughout the cement gray, but the Nike Air itself also has like some speckling on it. If you look close, you can kind of see it there, right? Yeah. Which is how it was on the originals back in 89, and I don't think we've seen that since 1989. But yeah, really, really dope in my opinion. Man, that new shoe smell is filling up my whole room right now, and I love it. I love it so much. Moving on to the front of the shoe, you can see here on the tongue, you've got that Jordan Flight logo, the red Jumpman with black, with the Flight written in black. Very crispy, very nice. And then behind the tongue, you have the Air Jordan patch. You know, I always hear rumors and stories that back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s, like people would actually like flip the tongues. I can't quite get it to, but there you go. That people would like kind of flip the tongue over, because the Air Jordan is actually like upside down on the tongue, right? And people would like flip their tongues over and like let that kind of show. I've never in my life seen anybody actually rocking them like that. But apparently, allegedly, I heard that's how they was doing it once upon a time. And then, you know, you had the Union collab, the Jordan 4, where the tongues actually came like stitched over like that, and then you can cut the threads and like undo it yourself if you want, or you could rock it that way. That's the only time I've ever seen anybody actually rocking their 4s with the tongue like over like that, is because the shoe came like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, this is ooh, man, I'm so excited to have this shoe back in my collection. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it shouldn't be glued down just yet, so maybe I can go ahead and pull that out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. For the insole, you can see you got a black insole with the red Nike Air, and of course the size sticker, that men's size 11.5. I did actually manage to hit on multiple pairs of this shoe, so I got 2 size 11.5s and a size 9.5. I'm not obviously intending to keep all of them, and I didn't buy them with intentions on reselling. I just really wanted to make sure that I got a pair, because for me, this is a must-have in my collection. I'm a huge fan of OG colorways when it comes to these sneakers, and the white cement is my favorite alongside the breads. So I had to make sure that I had them, and I wanted to complete the set, which we'll get to that in just a moment. But so I might swap one of them for an 11. I might try these on to see how they fit, see if I want to go down or if I just want to stick with the 11.5. The 11.5 should be fine. It's just that I went for an 11 and I couldn't get it, but the 11.5 I managed to get. So one of these I actually hit on sneakers, or no, sorry. One of these I hit on Foot Locker. I managed to grab another pair through JD Sports, which is the size 9.5, which funnily enough, I paid for regular shipping on that pair. That's also going to be showing up at some point today. But these just got here first, and I couldn't wait to crack them open. So you know what I'm saying? We had to jump on that right away. So I got 2 11.5s, or no, the 9.5 is the one I got from JD. Not that it really matters, but my younger brother actually hit me while I was at the gym. Apparently Snipes dropped them a few days early, like by mistake, or I don't really know, but they like shadow dropped them. There was like no notification or anything like that. And he hit me, he was like, yo, they got them on Snipes, whatever. You want me to try to grab your pair? Like, hurry up, whatever. And so yeah, I sent him the bread. He managed to get me a pair. But then the shipping on those, they not showing up till next month. Like today it's the 28th now. So when I say next month, that sound crazier than it really is. But that had to have been on the 20th, I want to say, maybe the 21st when he hit me up. So that pair should have been here by now, IMO, but maybe that's just me, maybe I'm just tripping. And they're not showing up till like June 2nd or something like that. Then I paid for 1 day shipping on these, and they showing up today. And then the pair that I got on JD are also showing up later today. They out for delivery right now according to the tracking, and I paid for just regular standard shipping on those. So it's just wasted my money getting the 1 day on these, but whatever, I got them, and that's all that really matters. So it is what it is. But that being said, now that these is back in collection, I finally completed the set. Let's take a look at it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Bob. For the first time, for the actual first time in my life, I now finally have the whole original set of the Jordan 4s, the OG colorways from '89 with the white cements, the breads, the fire reds, and the military blue. So we have the 2025 white cement 4 retro, 2024, 2023, the industrial blues, but these they really the militaries. My pair's still factory laced. I ain't broke these out just yet. Then we got the fire red 4s, and of course this is the 2019 retro of the bread 4. I actually did not pick up the reimagined bread retro 4s, you know, the joints that's made of leather. But this is another one of my all-time favorite sneakers. This is probably my favorite of all the colorways, is the bread colorway. But the white cements are a close second, as you can see. I do rock these. They have been worn. I don't really know if you can tell from the bottoms or not, but I keep them clean though. I keep them. This is just one of them. Yeah, you can kind of see it's a little bit of dirt on there. But they still, you know what I'm saying, they still pass as brand new. I scraped the bottoms a little bit, and they, you know what I mean. But yeah, these are top two. These are top two easily. For me, these are must-haves in the collection. It hurt my heart not having these in the collection for as long as it's been. Like I said, that year and a half, maybe even 2 years it's been. But I'm gonna make sure that I always got a pair from now on. So like I said, the plan is I'm probably gonna keep one of the 11.5s, or I might swap it for a size 11. The 9.5 I'm probably just gonna sell, take it to like my boy's shop, whatever, maybe trade it for something. And I got the other 11.5, which I don't really know quite what I'm gonna do. I might keep one to rock and keep one to stock. But what I do want to do is try to get a size 13 for Pops, because he ain't managed to get a pair. So I'm gonna probably swap one of those out for 13 locally, and then, you know, try to you know, see what I want to do as far as sizing goes with my pair, because these do look a noticeable bit bigger than my other pair sitting here. I ain't gonna lie, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but if I try it on, decide it's a little bit too big, too roomy for my liking, I'm sure I can go find me a size 11 from like a homie at the shop, whatever, and then swap it out, and it shouldn't be too big of a deal. As long as I got them though, that's all that really matter. And hit them for retail at that, which they're not selling for too much anyway. So honestly, if I had missed out, this is probably a shoe that I would pay retail for, or I'm sorry, resell for, because they only selling for like 270, 280 right now, which ain't really too crazy. Now that being said, this being what it is, one of the hottest shoes of the year, hottest shoes of the summer, and just one of the greatest sneakers and Jordan 4s of all time, in my opinion, I can only assume that the value is going to go up with time. You know what I'm saying? When the breads came out, people wasn't sweating these either. They was selling for 260, 270, 280 back in 2019. You see the prices on these days? It ain't 260, 270, 280. I tell you that. Maybe for a used pair. Maybe for a used pair. So you know what I'm saying? When you got like these iconic, like classic colorways that haven't seen the light of day in so long, because before these came out, the last time you saw them was 2012, which I had that retro as well. And I actually really loved the suede on those. It was like this like buttery, like velvety kind of, you know what I'm saying? This is like a much shorter nubuck on these. But yeah, and it's been since 2016, so it's been 9 years since we've seen this shoe. You know what I'm saying? So people who really, you know what I'm saying, do this, they gonna eat these up. You know what I'm saying? All the real collectors out there, this is a must-have for the majority of people. You know what I'm saying? So definitely for me, glad to have them in the collection. And like I said, for the first time in my life, I actually own all four, because I've had multiple points in my life where I've had the breads and the white cements, which are always the two most important. I ain't gonna lie, back in my younger days, I didn't appreciate the fire reds and the military blues as much. I never like disliked them, but I didn't even like attempt to go for these back when they last came out in, I think it was also 2012, the last time these retro, 2012 or 2013, prior to these releases. And yeah, I just never got my hands on them, but they were a must for me. It's not like I never wanted them, but I was just a little bit more selective about what I was getting back then, because boy had a little bit less bread to spend frivolously. Because another thing as well is that there was very, very select shoes that I would buy that with the intentions like I'm keeping these, this is not for resale or flipping, because the main way of my making money back then, 2012, 2013, was, you know, flipping shoes, reselling, like restoring sneakers, and then like selling them and stuff, right? So you had to be a shoe like this to be like, nah, these is for me, I'm keeping these. Certain stuff like I'd buy, and it's like, yeah, I'm a cop them, but I probably ain't gonna keep them for very long, because it's got to be on to the next, and it's like I got to spend the money to make the money to buy it, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. We finally got the entire set, and yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. But that is gonna do it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. You got your white cement 4s 2025 retro, and probably the best release of the sneaker since at least 99, but maybe even since 89. I'm very, very, very happy with these. And yeah, man, this is, I think the next big sneaker release I'm looking forward to is the Grape 5s. Those got delayed multiple times, but to me, that's one of my favorite Jordan 5s alongside. It's crazy. They released all my favorite Jordan 5s this year, by the way. I'm not a big 5s guy, but my 3 favorite colorways of the Jordan 5 are the metallics, the grapes, and the black tongue fire reds. And we getting all 3 of those this year. So I already got the metallics, grapes, looking forward to those. And then the black tongue fire reds, I'm looking forward to those as well, which those are probably going to be easy pickups in my opinion, at least the fire reds. The grapes, maybe, I don't know, because people went crazy for those last time they released back in like 2013, if you don't count like the Fresh Prince release, which I think was like super limited and stuff anyway, you know, the joints with no laces and no lace holes. But regardless, man, you got your white cement 4s, and yeah, man, that's beautiful shoe right there. But that's gonna do it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you think of this release, what you think of the sneaker. Did you cop? Did you pass on them? You gonna get them later down the line? Did you take a L, W, whatever the case may be? How you feeling about the Jordan 4 white cements? Y'all let me know down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all this content that I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, that's the happy swing the bad. Later.